Learning from the owl herself, an Aengel tale. The radiant Zeus bought modern furniture for the many halls of Olympus because the archaic decor didn't fit his evolving senses. A bookish brunette sat on an upholstered cherry sofa reading a fictional book. She was Athena, enlightened goddess of wisdom and war. Despite having a city named after her, few patrons in the world still prayed to Athena. So, she figured the best way to spend her time was reading book after book until she learned all there was to learn. "You need to get out a little, darling," a melodious chime came from a sparkling beauty with black hair. "They may not believe in us, but that doesn't mean we have to rot on this mountain." Athena peered from her book to Aphrodite, the entrancing goddess of love, who had sat on the couch next to her and crossed her olive-colored exposed legs. Aphrodite turned on the television their mother Hera had purchased and began watching a Greece dating drama while scrolling on a flashing smartphone. "If there is anything down on earth for me, I will go," Athena replied with emphasis on her consonants. Zeus stumbled into the room with confusion painted on his thick white beard. He looked around to every corner and then to Aphrodite and Athena. He took a minute to say anything, and instead hummed in thought. "Ladies? Have you seen the sylphs?" His voice echoed like an explosion. "No, Pops, what for?" Aphrodite mumbled as her father watched her swipe through a dating app with no interest. "I want to send a storm to northern Macedonia. I was hoping they could help." "Why not just make Zephyr or Boreas do it?" Athena asked as she marked her place in the book with a bookmark made of leather. "Ah," Zeus whined and the air crackled. "Boreas is too violent with his northern wind and Zephyr is too gentle. The sylphs make it just right." "Is this about a woman?" Aphrodite smiled from one curl on the side of her hair to the other. "Yes, but things are not what you think," he said while his golden aura blushed red. "She asked for a blessing from me specifically. That never happens anymore." Athena stood and walked to her father. She was getting tired of Aphrodite distracting her from her reading and figured a stretch would do no harm. "I'll go find them, father." "That's why you're my favorite," he chimed with a spark in his eyes as he sat next to Aphrodite and conjured potato chips. Athena was wise enough to know that he meant she was his favorite at the moment. Still, she shifted to an elegant brown barn owl and dove to earth. She didn't fly far from Olympus before she found four small plucky sylphs sitting on the branch of an olive tree. They were watching a father and daughter from the village of Pythian. "Friends, father wants you," she said as she ruffled her flowing feathers. "Oh, Athena," one of the sylphs cried. "A tragedy plays before us. Surely, the chief can wait. Or perhaps you can go to the sylphs in Berlin." The others nodded in agreement. Athena rolled her wide eyes. She didn't want to go all the way to Berlin when these sprites were at the base of Olympus. Athena twisted her neck and wondered what was so special about the scene in front of them. "I know, my dove," the father said through an unkempt mustache as he bent down. "You should try to listen to these books. It's just as good, I promise." "No, I want to read like I used to, Papa." The little girl appeared to be 5 or 6 years old, but Athena noticed she had no sight in her milky gray eyes. There were chemical burn marks around her eyebrows, so the goddess gathered she became blinded after birth. "I need you to be patient, daughter. The braille will become easier," he explained as he picked up a small book written with raised dots. Athena spent 3 years learning braille herself, so she understood the frustration. The two female sylphs stood and looked at the goddess like she stepped on a tiny dog's tail. "Can you not help the poor girl?" "Yes," the male sylph said. "Cure her blindness, then she can read again." "You know it doesn't work that way. I need a prayer. Plus, I don't have the power to give her sight. Isn't it time you four went and helped my father?" They blew a wind which made Athena grip the branch beneath her harder with her razor talons. She was in no mood for a protest, but she also didn't want to turn away from a little girl that wanted to read. "If you can get the girl to pray to me, I'll do my best." I can't fully cure her, though. The sylphs floated to the girl's open window as she started to cry. They were as visible as air, so the father wouldn't see them. They whistled a wind that mimicked the cry of an owl, and he turned his head and stared at Athena. "Oh, a wise owl. Isn't it a little early for you, friend?" Athena shook her head and the father lost his breath. He wanted to ask more questions in case she turned out to be a magical owl, but his rational adult brain told him he might be dehydrated. He went out of the small room and Athena joined the sylphs on the window ledge. Once again, they blew a great wind that mimicked Athena in her owl form. She chose to follow up with another sound after it subsided. The little girl finally turned her head toward the noise. "Little owl. Have you come to help?" The girl stepped off her bed, reached around with her hand and grabbed a white cane. She felt around until she was at the window and reached her hand out. Athena thought the girl was being bold but let her touch her feathers anyway. "Has Athena sent you from the mountain?" Athena nodded her owl head and her eyes started to glow. Not that the girl could see. She let out another sound to say she was there to help. "You can tell the goddess I'll be patient and learn Braille if she wants," she said as she sniffled. "I just want to be able to see books like I used to. With images and sounds and excitement." Athena knew the little girl didn't only want to read, she wanted to experience for herself. She wanted a sense that no audiobook or television program could give. To the goddess, wishes were just as good as prayers. And she thought of a way to help. She leaned forward into the open window and nuzzled her beak against the girl's scarred eyebrow. When the father came back in the room, he became flustered and chased Athena away. From the olive branch, she and the sylphs listened to him chastise his daughter about being careful around wild animals. The little girl picked up the Braille book and tried reading in front of her father. A wide, innocent smile crossed her face as the words appeared plain in her mind. Athena made it so the girl could translate the Braille into Greek and imagine the sentences. It wasn't the same as sight, but the little girl started reading the words aloud as she moved her fingers over Braille. "Can we go help my father, now? Where is your heart? You help this precious angel read and all you can think about is Zeus?" The male sylph said. "It is because I have a heart that I want you to help my father. Come, don't forget I am goddess of wisdom and war." The sylphs jumped and flew toward the mountain. Athena stayed on the olive tree as the little girl turned page after page. Her father tried his best to hide it, but he cried a waterfall while his daughter smiled for the first time since the accident. The goddess found that she made a believer for life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, or subscribe if you liked the video.